Hey everybody, welcome to Jimmy's Records and Tapes. I'm Jimmy Pardo. Today I'm talking about my 5 favorite Canadian acts.
We've got it on vinyl, CD and cassette.
We've got pop, rock, heavy metal, punk, funk, rap, and new wave. All sales are vinyl, but you'll never regret all the music you get at Jimmy's Records and Tapes.
I'm loving music again. How's it going, eh? That's what people always do whenever they do an impression of a person from Canada. They think that's very funny, which is really just kind of an impression of Rick Moranis or Dave Thomas from SCTV doing Bob and Doug McKenzie. How's it going, eh? Hey, hoser. I'm sure some people sound like that up in Canada. Honestly, all the people I met, they kind of just say a boot. And then I go, hey, look at that. That guy's from Canada. And then we move on with our lives. Everybody seems happy. Anyway, welcome to Jimmy's Records and Tapes. I am Jimmy Pardo. Going to be talking about my favorite musical acts from Canada this week. The Great White North, they call it. Again, that's from SCTV, Bob and Doug McKenzie. What if I just did this entire episode doing nothing but their act? Act seems like a strong word, right? It was a sketch. Very funny. I still own the vinyl. That is a piece of vinyl, the Bob and Doug McKenzie album that has been with me since I got it for Christmas one year. I then moved in with a girlfriend. It came along with then back home when that thing fell apart. Came back with me then. And then I moved out to L.A., had a roommate, and then I lived by myself. Then I lived in an apartment with my now wife. Then I lived in one house with my wife. I lived in another house with my wife. And the Bob and Doug McKenzie album has made that journey the entire time. And I've listened to a total of 0 times in all of those moves, except for when I got it as a child when I was got it for Christmas. Anyhow, let's get to it. I love the Canadian music. Let's do this. Let's land on this concept. Rush and Neil Young are the best. Done. We're done. Rush and Neil Young are the best. These are my 5 favorites after Rush and Neil Young, right? Everybody's going to say Rush. Everybody's going to say Neil Young. I know a lot of you are going to say they're Tragically Hip, which I love them too, by the way. Their EP came out when I was still at MCA Records, and I love that EP. I loved Small Town Bring Down. I loved I'm a Werewolf Baby. And then I just kind of lost track of the Tragically Hip, and admittedly, I have to revisit them and see where I stand with them, because I know that people on both sides of the border, which, by the way, we're going to build that wall and keep you Canadians out, right? Isn't that what that was not the plan? Different border? Pretending to talk to a guy off camera. I like that first EP. I don't know why I gave up on the Tragically Hip. I'm going to revisit them. My promise to you, the viewer, is that I will revisit the Tragically Hip. By the way, how great's that name, the Tragically Hip? I also had the pleasure of meeting Corey Hart once, a Canadian act, who does not make the Fay Five. I think he's great, by the way. I think Corey's got a great voice. He also has trouble singing at night because he refuses to take those shades off. This was for his second album, Boy in the Box, I believe it was called. He was having a meet and greet listening party, Capitol Records was, and I went to it, and I had him I had him sign something for me. I imagine it says, "To Jim, best wishes, Corey Hart," something along those lines. And my girlfriend at the time, Dawn, her brother, Rick, was a huge Corey Hart fan, and sadly I could not bring him to this event, so I promised to get him a signature. So I asked Corey for a second autograph. I said, hey, could you do me a favor and sign another one of those? And he goes, I've already given you the one, man. And I was like, yeah, this is for my girlfriend's brother. Could you do me a favor and just sign one real quick to him? And he's like, you know what? You already got your shot. You got your one autograph. That's it. One and done. And this will surprise nobody that's a fan of Jimmy Pardo, may have lost my temper and went, hey, the people at the record store are the reason you've made it, man. And I got right in Corey Hart's face, and I made a scene. And I don't think I was asked to leave, but I think I was asked to move down the line, but not before Corey did scribble something on an album cover for Rick, which I hope Rick still enjoys to this day. And here's the truth. I still like Corey Hart to this day. So Corey, if you're watching, no hard feelings. Number 5 of my top 5 favorite, not top, Fay 5 is a safer way to say it, people from, musicians from Canada, is the great Joni Mitchell, who arguably is one of the greatest singer-songwriters of all time. I liked Joni Mitchell, didn't love Joni, liked her. And then one day I was on the road as a comedian, and I was in the rental car, and whatever station came up, there was an interview, and I just was hearing the interview, and I didn't know who they were interviewing. That happened once, by the way, with Lena Dunham. I was hearing an interview with her right when Girls was starting, and I was listening to this interview going, oh, I don't like this person at all. I wonder what she's promoting. And so that is the reason why I've never watched Girls, was because of 6 minutes I heard on a radio once until they said, hey, we're talking to Lena Dunham about blah, blah, blah. I just couldn't wait to hear the name of at the end of it to discover who I so disliked in this interview. The opposite happened with Joni Mitchell. I heard the person talking about the songwriting and performing and so on and so forth. And I was like, boy, I really like this person. I wonder who they're talking to. And then they said, hey, we're here with the great Joni Mitchell. And I was like, you know what? I'll do a deeper dive on Joni Mitchell after hearing this interview. And I did, and I love it. I love River. I think that's a great song. Obviously, Both Sides now, Big Yellow Taxi. And of course, she wrote Woodstock, which Crosby, Stills, and Nash made popular. And but her version is great as well. I apparently love anything that has the word Woodstock attached to it, except, oddly enough, the Peanuts. I don't know. What do you like, that dog in that plane house or whatever he has, that Red Baron house that he flies around in his fantasies? What's he smoking, huh? Is, I'm sure, what somebody said back then. Anyway, number 5, Joni Mitchell. Fave 5, Canadian X. Number 4, a lot of people, this is unfair. A lot of people go, you're talking about the poor man's Rush? I'm not. I'm talking about Triumph. I love Triumph. I like them. I like them as guys. I met them a few times back in my record store days and at my MCA Records days. And, they rock. They rock. Fight the Good Fight. That's a great song. Got the Magic Power. The music in me. Because I'm young. Look at me try to get to the notes that Rick Emmett made famous. Lay It on the Line. That's a great tune. I like Triumph. There. End of story. That's it. I like them. By the way, when I was in a band, Rainbow Bridge, which again is sad how often I bring this up. It really is. I should just commit to getting the Letterman's jacket with a big RB on it and walk around with it. And people go, where'd you go to school? It's not school, man. That's the band I was in high school that I apparently can't stop talking about. We did some Triumph songs. We did Say Goodbye by Triumph off the Allied Forces album. This is a fun fact. For nobody is this fun. At the time, we also had a female lead singer to go along with me as the lead singer, and she sang Say Goodbye. I did not. So the one time that we did a Triumph song, I wasn't even involved. I would sit over at the side, and if it was now, I'd probably look at my phone and wait for that song to be over. Then I probably was just there seething, going, finish this song so I can get back to my Chicago. Number 4, Triumph. Number 3, boy, I like these guys. I like these guys a lot. Prog rock. That's what we're talking about here. Saga. On the Loose. Remember that? MTV played the hell out of that video. They also played a lot out of Wind 'Em Up, which is a great Wind 'Em Up, he can't. No luck today. Little woman in the background saying no luck today to a guy at a casino who's playing roulette. Hey, this won't surprise you. Rainbow Bridge did On the Loose during some rehearsals when Paul quit the band. And we were looking for a new guitarist, and we got the drummer's brother, Darren, and we learned On the Loose. And then a guy named Chuck said, hey, I want to join your band. And Chuck had a PA system. So we said, kick rocks, Darren. Chuck's in. To which, to this day, I'm not kidding, haunts me maybe every single day of my life that I did that to a guy. And if he was on any sort of social media, I would reach out to him and say, hey, man, I'm sorry that I did that. And he would write me back going, haven't thought about it once in my entire life. What are you talking about? And I would go, oh, boy. Well, I guess that weight's lifted off. Or is it? Number 3, Saga. And number 2, this will be a surprise to nobody, Gordon Lightfoot, who admittedly I first learned about from the aforementioned SCTV when they did that great sketch, Gordon Lightfoot Sings All the Hits in the World, or whatever that was called, the songs of all time. And I don't know which SCTV member was doing the Gordon Lightfoot impression, but it was fantastic. And it made me then, of course, like Gordon Lightfoot. And I didn't really understand why SCTV was making references to like Gordon Lightfoot, because nobody in the States was. But I guess I figured out he's from Canada. Edmund Fitzgerald, right? I think another episode of this tells you that's one of my favorite songs of all time. How do you not like Sundown? You better take care, right? You're over there by those stairs. Might be paraphrasing those lyrics. I like Gordon Lightfoot. I've never seen him in concert. I was invited once. My buddy Pete Schwaba invited me to go see Gordon Lightfoot in concert. And I think I was supposed to go to a baseball game or something. And I said, you're on your own, man. And I regret it. I wish I would have seen him. So number 2 is, in fact, as I say, Gordon Lightfoot. My fave 5 Canadian acts. And number 1, this will probably surprise everybody, yet nobody. Considering I love Rush. Again, they're the best. They're tops. I like Bryan Adams. I got no beef with Bryan Adams. Right? Maybe he's got truck with me. I don't know. Maybe Bryan has an issue with me. But I got no problem with Bryan Adams. But my number one is Gino Vannelli, the great crooner. Gino Vannelli, who, again, I first discovered from SCTV when I believe it was Eugene Levy played him. And he would do the song, I just want to stop. And every time he turned around, he had more hair on his body. And it was very, very funny. And I enjoyed it. It was only years later that I really got into Gino Vannelli when I was working again for a record store. And CBS Records and all the labels that they distributed was having a listening party at Poplar Creek, which was a music venue in Hoffman Estates, Illinois. A great music venue for an outdoor concert. And the party was on the stage of Poplar Creek, which was really cool at the time. It would still be cool. I've never played a venue that big. I don't know why I'm acting like it was cool at the time, but I've moved on to much bigger sheds. It was neat to just be on the stage and look out and just imagine all those rock bands and artists performing to that size of a crowd. But they used the speakers and the sound system there at Poplar Creek to play the upcoming CBS releases, and one of them was Black Cars by Gino Vannelli, which is a great song. It's very 80s. If you listen to that version now, it's very, very 80s. He's since, whenever he does it live, and he actually recorded a version a little more modern, not so synthy sounding, which is a great song. But that then went, hey, I'm going to go down a Gino Vannelli wormhole. And then, boom, I'm in. Brother to Brother is a great album. Nightwalker's a great album. The album Inconsolable Man got me through that horrible breakup that apparently I won't shut up about. Inconsolable Man's is a great album, great song. I'm Inconsolable Man. I had the pleasure of running into Gino Vannelli once at the Las Vegas airport. I just got done doing my own shows at the Improv at Harrah's, and Gino was performing, I would imagine, somewhere bigger than that. That's not to say the Improv was small. No, sir, it was a nice-sized venue. And I'm dragging my luggage behind me, and I say, holy mackerel, that's Gino Vannelli. I'm going to tell him that I like his brand new album, Yonder Tree. And figuring nobody else in the world has ever told him, hey, I like your new album, Yonder Tree. So I walk up and I said, hate to bother you, just want to let you know I'm really enjoying Yonder Tree. And he went, thank you. And then right back down. But again, I hold no beef with Gino Vannelli. He is number one on my 5 favorite Canadian acts. Hey guys, it's now time for this week's Jimmy's Choice. As a reminder, you tweet these to me at Jimmy Pardo on Twitter, and you tell me what 2 acts you want to see get into a cage and battle it out. Who does Jimmy like more? Who does he prefer? Does he like them both? And it's a hard decision. We'll find out. This week's Jimmy's Choice comes to us from at I Am Otto. At I Am Otto. And he wants me to pick between Rat, with 2 T's, and Whitesnake. Wow. I'm not going to lie and say that, this is a tough one for me, because it's not. I will say that I like them both, but I do definitely like one a lot more than the other. But I will not deny, it's Whitesnake. There we go. We got it. It's Whitesnake. But I will not deny Rat's appeal. I like that logo. You got to like that Rat logo. In fact, I will tell you this. When I worked at the record store, I think only Duran Duran outsold Rat as far as merchandise went. Everybody wanted that Rat Out of the Cellar shirt. And by the way, Round and Round's a great song. Way Cool Jr.'s great. Lay It Down's great. I get it. They're good. I like Rat. Fine. But Whitesnake, here comes David Coverdale, right? That 1980 self-titled album, Whitesnake, which had Here I Go Again on it, and Still of the Night, I believe, is on that. If it's not, it's on another album, obviously. That was their 7th album, by the way. I'm always weirded out when the 7th album is a self-titled. It's like, seems confusing to everybody involved. Why not a title for that? I know some people call that album 1987, but that's not it's just called Whitesnake. I don't like it. Maybe your first one could just be self-titled, but after that, you give those things titles. You understand me? That's coming down from me to you. My favorite is Whitesnake, and I'll tell you why. Vocally, I'm gonna paraphrase Tom Hanks of the Oscars. It's David Coverdale has a better voice than Stephen Pearcy, and dude, that was no contest. Hey, thanks so much for joining me here today on Jimmy's Records and Tapes. If you liked it, smash that bell. Click like. Tell your buddies about it. Spread the word about Jimmy's Records and Tapes. Don't forget, we've got a Spotify playlist. You can check that out at Jimmy's Record. Search for Jimmy's Records and Tapes. I, of course, am on Twitter at Jimmy Pardo, and I host the award-winning podcast, Never Not Funny. Thanks again for joining me. Until next time, the record's back in its sleeve.